So a lot of people love to say, like, if it's meant for you, you can't miss it. And I would just like to point out that that's not biblical. It's not biblical. Some things God will, like, shake a little harder. Some things God moves away from. And so it's a very nuanced dance between free will and destiny, I think. And what God cares about is the posture of the heart. And so, for example, Moses had a great heart posture. And so the Lord accommodated him quite a bit more. Moses kind of turns him down. He's like, no, I'm not going to do this. No, I stutter. No, I this. No, I that. And God was like, I want your heart, and you're going to do the same. And so, wow, that was cool. So anyway, he's like, you're going to do the same. And he equips him with the extra tools that he asked for to be able to go get the people from Pharaoh. And Moses has a relationship with God unlike pretty much any other leader in the Bible, right? And then I'm now in Saul, where that's not a book of the Bible, but like I'm reading about King Saul and King David. The fact that a king was established in Israel at all is a product of the free will of the people of Israel. That was not in God's design for Israel to have a king, because he was the king. But they wanted an earthly king. And so he was like, all right, this isn't good. Warn them that it's not good, but I'll give it to him. And then he gives him Saul. And then Saul decides that, he knows best, and that he's going to follow his own direction and do what he wants to do, which is exactly the problem with an earthly king, and exactly what the people were warned about. And God literally, quote unquote, in scripture says, I regret appointing Saul. And then he appoints David. And so basically Saul had this whole destiny in front of him, this whole lineage, this whole blessing, and he throws it in the trash can, and then David inherits it. And then who's in the lineage of Jesus? David, not Saul. And so in the case of Saul, like, God gave him a few chances, sure. He didn't shake him down like Moses. And I think it's because God discovered that when given that authority, Saul was not going to be able to handle it. When Moses was given that authority, he took it in stride, right? There could have been a story in the Bible where Moses just completely fell off the wagon, and God removed him completely and then appointed somebody else. That didn't happen. Moses definitely got a slap on the wrist for his one little thing that he did, but in essence, like, there's free will in the Bible. Like, you guys cannot convince me that Judas had to be the one betraying Jesus, okay? Like, that's crazy. Judas chose to betray Jesus. He was okay, continuing my rant. Judas didn't have to betray Jesus. Was there anything saying that had to happen? No. Judas was designed, just like the other 12, to be about the business of the Lord, right? But you know what? He dipped out, and then Paul was appointed. And maybe Paul was going to be appointed anyway. Who knows? But the point is, I don't know how to say this in a way that's not, like, mean and discouraging, but we have to take the call of the Lord seriously, because we have free will, okay? And so I think a lot of times this is applied to, like, relationships and love. That's what I was trying to say. And it's like, if they're meant for you, they can't miss you. And again, it comes down to the heart posture. I really think it does, because the Lord will definitely shake two people together if he really wants them together, if their hearts are aligned, because he's not going to join two things that are going to destroy each other, right? We'll do that all day long. God will not do that. So, he won't do that, is what I'm saying. If you are, like, prepared to wife, and then this man literally, like, say he, like, receives a dream where it's like his life is magical with you in it, dull without you in it, the Lord confirms multiple different ways, like, this is my wife, and they walk away. I don't know where this bubble's coming from, but my point is, you can use your free will to reject the will of God, and he will find another way, because he always does. But you can miss out. And there's some things that God will he can come back around, or he can shake you down a little bit. And then there's some things, I think, when it comes to the posture of your heart, you're not going to see come around twice. So what is my warning or my message in this? It's encouraging. Don't think so much about purpose. Don't idolize your mission. Make God the God of your life, love him, commune with him, know him, be his best friend. Let him be your father, because that is how you don't miss what he's called you to. It's not being like, oh my gosh, like I should do this and I should do this and this is what God's calling me to. It's like, no, you're overly focused on like the mission. God will give you the mission if you can hear his voice. So can you hear his voice? Do you really listen for his voice? Without an agenda, without wanting something to be like bestowed upon you? Because trust me, that stuff's heavy. It's heavy to carry if you're not prepared to carry it. Blessings are burdens in the wrong context, okay? So anyways, this is my little word of like, I guess caution. Hopefully it's encouraging. I need to hear it too, because sometimes I literally just actively disobey the Lord. And then I've missed opportunities because of that. I have. And no one ever told me this. And now I'm reading the Bible, so like, yeah, I'm reading the Bible, so I'm seeing this. And I also have a lot more, I think, life experience with the both and of free will and destiny than I did when I was younger. But nonetheless, I guess that's all I have to say. I hope this is helpful. If it gives you a little anxiety, I suggest taking that to the Lord. If there's something specific on your heart you're thinking about, take it to the Lord. That is always my final call. Like, do not hear me as one other voice of millions and millions of voices on the internet and not take it to the Lord if it stirs something up, because that's not the point. Like, God is the final voice and authority, and if he uses a person on the internet to speak to you a little bit, cool, but he's the one who's gonna like paint the full picture for you. So take all of this to the Lord and just fall in love with his voice. That's the best thing I could tell you to do, or anyone to do ever. Okay, bye.